All right, so this is the third episode of our so far three-part series of your life. And as I forewarned you last time, I want to hear your perspective and stories about each one of your seven children.
Okay.
Now, you already let off with Walter, so we'll do him last.
I'm starting with Gay.
Okay, so
Gay.
we'll go oldest to youngest?
Yeah.
Okay, so,
We're gonna start him in Gay.
okay.
And one time around Christmas, Bradley, who was dating Gay, invited me to lunch. Or he said he wanted me to give him some advice.
Okay.
So I said, where would you like to have lunch? And he said, well, nowhere in particular. So I took him to the Houston Club, and then he picked over his lunch, and then he, at some point, he blurted out, "Can I marry your daughter?" And so after that, we had a very, very pleasant lunch, but so that was Gaylord. Then Walter.
No. Well, hang on. I'm going to ask some questions.
Okay.
You're not going to get off the hook this easily. So, do you think Gay takes after more of you or Betsy?
I think all of them take after Betsy.
No. That's a cop-out answer.
Well.
Come on, Meryl. Do you think Gay takes more after you or Betsy?
Betsy,
Betsy. Why?
because she's very active.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay. I mean, I think Gay takes a lot after you because she's very smart. Not that Betsy's not smart, but you're very smart and very exact. Do you agree with that as well?
No.
No. Okay. All right. And what about any story that involves Gaylord herself and not Bradley? Something funny or frustrating or whatever about Gay. And I have a story. So when I guess it was when Betsy got pregnant with Virginia or Julia, you had to go to Vanderbilt to break the news to Gay in person. What was that like?
Right. Yeah. That's another story that I will tell. But
Okay, so you want to move on.
I was on business, and I went through Nashville to tell Gay that my wife was pregnant. So
and was I'm sure Gay was happy, but was it a bit of a shock to her?
well, we were having dinner with her good friend, and I excused the good friend, and she thought I was getting divorced.
Oh no. Okay, so you want to now move on to Walter?
Yeah, Walter. Walter was captain of the track team at St. John's, and in those days they had a banquet after the season was closed, and the father of the captain got to talk. So I was talking, and I said that I certainly would not give advice to any of my children because I thought they would not accept it. But I thought the child psychologist, the well-known child psychologist, William L. Let's see, what is his name? Anyway. Samuel L. Clemens
Oh, okay.
would give them some advice, and so I said I would give them advices that he had given me, and one was if someone hurts you, turn the other cheek. And then when they're not looking, hit them upside the brick. hit them upside the head with a brick. And then I said a second one is always obey your parents, because if you don't, they'll make you. There was a third piece of advice, but I said the mother of the captain has not given me permission to give it. So we'll move on to William.
Okay.
William, the next year, was captain of the basketball team. And right at halftime, he was on the center line and with 3 seconds to go, he made a basket, but in the wrong basket.
Oh no.
And then I explained to William, I explained to the captain of the basketball team why William was captain, and I explained that Bess had been Betsy had been captain of the Kincaid basketball team, and I had been captain of the Middlesex Middlesex school, but we had a perfect season, no wins and all losses. But then I said, Gay had been manager of the basketball team, and Bess had been manager of the basketball team. And about this time, Walt Williams' eyes started rolling because he thought it was so absurd. But then I said, thirdly, the mother of the captain has smuggled into this banquet tonight the captain of the 1880s, of the 1996 basketball team, because she was pregnant. And so then, with respect to sports, I said that with respect to sports, because it was supposed to be a St. John's sports banquet, I said, with respect to sports, I hope you will agree that my 6 children and my wife's present condition qualify me as a sport.
Oh Lord.
So
very good.
Happily, the rest of that talk was lost, but still someone remembers the smuggler and the sport. And let's see, then what? Oh, Bess, the next one. Bess was giving a baby shower for Mimi Priolo, who was pregnant, but who was in New York, and couldn't come to the shower. So Bess and I decided that a baby shower with no mother present would be a travesty. So I put on a wig and a long dress and various other things and accoutrements. And when Carolyn Payne walked in, I said, "Mother," and she was. And then I proceeded to open all the presents, and everyone I was said critical of.
I remember that. I remember that. I think there's some pictures somewhere of you
Right.
addressed as a woman. Yes.
Right. And Margie came into the, she said, "Who was that woman?" And she ran out to get Dean. And then let's see. Then Dean, Dean was the BMO, the big deal at St. John's, but I still remember him in a Santa Claus suit, on roller skates, on soliciting gifts from money gifts from all the presidents who came, all the students who came in, but all the parents of the students. And then, let's see, we're down to Virginia.
Yeah, 2 to go.
Okay, Virginia has every year they had a seniors class dinner, and so I dressed up as Barbara Bush on that occasion.
There's a trend here, Merrill, of you liking to dress up like women. That is very English of you.
But then I want to tell a story on Virginia in which I helped her, but on Dante, right behind your thing, you'll find a little piece of paper.
Oh, right back here?
Yes.
Up here?
No, all over to the right. There you go. No, it's up in the books. On
Well, here's a piece of paper.
there you go.
Yeah.
And
Oh, the Divine Comedy? Mm-hmm.
yes, and Divine Comedy by. So I started off the first page with Divine Comedy and talked about it very seriously and about all the things. But then I swapped over, and then let's see. The Door to Hell, Dante's Condemnation and Virginia's Protest, The Infinite Circle, Magna Cum Compacta Escribo, with the anger that knew no bounds, bound behind the huge rock, she is syllabus. Virginia still sits typing furious. How can a university be so cruel to write an essay on Dante's Hell? To force a student to plunder her mind, create a circle, be forever condemned. The thoughts and papers scattered on the floor, no parting tonight, what a bore. Power shortages, typewriters blocked, and finally conquered over and at last the oral words are all committed to the vellum. The deed is done, she has created Helen. Then the huge rock rolls inexorably, destroying the computer, printer, and vellum. Only Virginia's is left intact. And now knocking on the door, it has hated the UPS encore. Another computer, another sprinter, vellum more. So she starts again, forever on her shore. Let's see. Notes in this terrible tale is the sinner rightly condemned and punished, I believe Dante would say yes. How frustrating it must be to have one who abhors working to be stuck to a topic and a computer only to have all their efforts foiled, and the last joyous moment, the final page, the closing comment, beware, before enraged, have a scholastic, oh God, here comes that rock again. But, and then Volume 2, Purgatorio, Canto 1, except Dante's rhymes may be immortal, but Virginia's rhymes make demons chortle. Perhaps there is a chance to learn. Perhaps this opus needs a conclusion. Perhaps Virginia's should not be refusing. Volume 3, Paradisio, Canto Excerpto. O joy, O rapture unparalleled, Virginia has been unheld. The evil counselor has been assuaged, a definitive conclusion has been made. The English department has been just. It has given Virginia A+.
Oh, nice. Very good.
So,
Yeah, I want to talk some more about your poetry and your writing, but we'll come back to that. So we've got one more to go.
okay. Julia. Let's see.
And she got a bunch of names: Julia, Marie, Merrill, Glasgow.
Right. And one time Ethan came over to our house and he said, I assume that the two of you would want to know why I'm here. And he asked our permission to marry. And I said, oh, we were afraid you would never ask. So that's the story of my seven children.
Well, I want to, since we're talking about engagements, I want to see if you remember when I asked you to marry Elizabeth, because it's, here's my recollection. You were working at Anderson and Clayton. I was clerking at Vincent and Elkins.
Right.
We met at 11:30 at the Lancaster Grill for lunch.
Really?
Yes. You ordered a double something, a double
Martini?
no, not a martini. I think it was an old fashioned or a man or something. And I followed suit. So at 11:30 in the morning, you and I were drinking hard liquor in large quantities
Really?
in preparation for our talk. And you were very gracious. And when I asked you if I could marry Elizabeth, you said you would be very pleased. So that is what I remember about my asking you for Elizabeth's hand. But talking about your writing, where did you pick up writing poetry and because I've mentioned this before in our other episodes, but you're such a beautiful writer, and usually business people don't are pretty non-poetic. Where would you say you got that from?
I'd say at Middlesex School, there was a teacher of English who, John Quidville Briggs, and he taught English, and he taught us what we knew. And one time, he suggested that everybody write something amusing. So I wrote something on the purple cow, and um, it was a Carl Sandburg takeoff on Chicago, and it went something like this. Let's see, the purple cow, shoes for the world. Eater of hay and fodder. Let's see, supplier of the world's food supply. And then I wrote, and they tell me you're rationed now because I have seen the looks of wanton family, of wanton mothers and children on their looks. And they tell me you are wicked because I have seen the lavender lamps luring the bulls. And so, oh purple cow, tell me, even though you're purple, how proud you are to be the shoes for the world and provider of the food supply. So I got a 10 on that, which was magnificent. And then one other time, I wrote a paper on segregation, defending it, and I got another 10. But that's where I got my writing ability.
Wow. And the fact that you can remember the poem, I mean, you probably did that when you were, what, 15, 16 years old?
Yes.
Wow. Meryl, I can't remember what I wrote yesterday. And, you know, you've always been a little mischievous and funny. I remember the time that John Kirksey wrote a book about different stories.
Yes.
And
I'd forgotten it.
yeah, and you wanted me to pull a prank on him.
Yes.
And tell him that because he used your name in the book without your permission, and so you were gonna scare him. I was gonna call him and say, you know, you did this without Meryl's permission, and he's very upset, and he's thinking about suing, and but I didn't think that was such a good idea, so I called John and I said, look, John, Meryl wants me to do this, but why don't we turn the tables on Meryl? So we got you on the phone, and John started lashing at you, and you got so upset. And we had to say, no, it's only a joke. That was pretty funny. I'd
forgotten that.
Yeah. Anyway, good times. Well, Meryl, so really just 2 more topics, and then we'll probably be out of time. I want to try to keep it to 30 minutes. But, you know, when I look at your life, I mean, one of the things that is mind-boggling to me is you sent all 7 kids, almost, not everyone, but most of them through all lower school at St. John's. And having paid for 2 boys to go through there, I know it's not cheap. I don't care what era it is. The amount they charge is always more than
I have 72 child years at St. John's.
I know. And then you gave 4 debutante parties, 4 weddings, beautiful weddings. I mean, you have really been dedicated to providing for your family, and that is really something I greatly admire, and that we're trying to do a little bit of ourselves.
St. John's has the Avery Glasgow Tunnel, and Mark was here last night with us, and he says the there are two tunnels, both with our names on them.
Oh, really? Interesting. Okay.
But next time you're over there, check it out, would you please?
I will. I remember when you got your name on the tunnel. You and Nathan, I think, were probably drinking a little bit at a charity thing, and
Right.
I think I heard that Nathan Avery put up more money than you did on the tunnel.
Who knows?
You're not talking. Anyway, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember when Walter didn't get into kindergarten at St. John's, Elizabeth and I would only half jokingly threaten to cement up the tunnel. But it all worked out just fine in the end. All right, so a couple of final things. So what is your, I know you love musicals. What is your favorite musical?
I have so many.
I know, but if you had to pick one just off the top of your head.
Sound of Music, I guess.
Okay. And favorite,
My Fair Lady.
okay, I just said one.
Okay.
Okay, favorite trip ever?
Favorite trip
Trip.
ever?
Yeah,
India.
okay.
I think that was the most so different that it was incredible. And other than that, the Far East, the one we took earlier, was my second trip.
And this was, so I remember you and Betsy did that trip, right, to India, and then you met up with Dean's friend from college?
No,
No?
the Bakers went with us, and I don't remember meeting up with Dean ever.
No, not with Dean, but with his friend from college, I think, who lived in India. Or I may have that wrong. Anyway, yeah. And then favorite place to be other than your own home? Like, where did you always enjoy spending time?
College and business school, and Charlesbury.
I know you're quite the Anglophile. So favorite spirit?
Martini,
Okay. Favorite wine?
red or white.
I knew you were going to say that. Favorite hobby? What was your favorite hobby?
Bridge,
Bridge. Okay. Favorite food?
profiteroles au chocolat.
All right. And then I would ask you favorite son-in-law, but I don't want to know the answer to that.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll quit for
Okay.
today. All right? Good job.